Wanted to give some quick thoughts on Westworld. I had something else planned for my next video, but it's taking way too long and I want to get this out before Westworld ends its season. I find this show super interesting and have enjoyed each season so far, especially regarding how each season feels so distinct from the others. While the show has always technically been science fiction, the first season of the show, I would argue, felt pretty purely Western. The second season did as well, but began to transition away from that and started to tweak with the setting and perspective. Now in Season 3, we are pretty much entirely futuristic sci-fi. And yet, the show, to me at least, feels entirely cohesive and the transition completely natural. I think there's a key lesson about storytelling we can learn from this aspect of Westworld, so let's look into it and discuss how Westworld successfully changed its genre. Off the top of my head, I can't think of another show or movie series that has so fully changed its setting and essentially its entire genre. Probably because it would be generally off-putting to an audience, and I'm sure there are plenty of people in Westworld's audience that love the show initially and are not on board with where it has gone. I'm definitely not among them, though. Also, I want to try to keep this as spoiler-free as possible, but it's not going to be entirely possible to do so, so feel free to hop out here if you don't want aspects of this show ruined for you. On to the main thesis. I believe that Westworld has, to an extent, successfully altered its genre, and I think I know how. I qualify only because, even in Season 1, the show was still science fiction. A theme park populated by hyper-intelligent and humanoid robots is obviously science fiction. However, the tone, setting, and storytelling were all largely playing within the Western sandbox. Now the tone and storytelling fall more in line with high-tech corporate espionage. You may think I'm cheating in my argument here because of all this, and I'd say that's fair. Hear me out, though. Here's why this works, and it didn't quite click for me, I believe, until episode 3 of this season when Dolores shows Caleb the predictions and decisions made for his life by Rehoboam. That confirmed that the central question of the earlier seasons still permeates through the show.
Have you ever questioned the nature of your reality?
The humans in the future portrayed in Westworld live on loops just as tight as those of the hosts in the Delos parks do.
Humans fancy that there's something special about the way we perceive the world, and yet we live in loops as tight and as closed as the hosts do. Seldom questioning our choices, content for the most part to be told what to do next.
The show spells this out pretty plainly, and it's common enough to have a thematic consistency run through a show, so this isn't super mind-blowing stuff, but I do think it acts as an enabler for the show to go in these different directions regarding its setting and overall tone. The storytelling lesson here is that if you establish and maintain a strong thematic center to your story, you can really push the limits in extreme ways elsewhere without your audience getting lost or upset. Nearly everything happening in Westworld ties back to the questioning the nature of your reality and, in some cases, breaking free from the shackles that keep you within it. It's interesting, too, to see the characters struggling with the nature of their reality change over the course of the series. While the show begins with Dolores and Maeve in the dark, they've now gained more control over their relationship with reality, while characters like the Man in Black have begun to lose touch with what's real and what isn't. The consistency extends to the archetypes we see at play in the show as well. Sirach is to humanity and the real world what Ford is to the hosts and the park, men playing God and manipulating their subjects to produce the desired narrative. The name Rehoboam comes from King Rehoboam, son of Solomon and grandson of King David, further drawing on religious imagery. Caleb is essentially filling the role of William from Season 1. He seems to be falling for Dolores, and his adventure with her begins in almost the exact same way William's did. One final interesting note, Episode 5 of this new season sees the orderly world of the future promptly descend into chaos at the slightest push. People go crazy, robberies occur, shootouts happen in the streets. It almost feels like the Wild West. Hope you guys found that interesting. Let me know what your thoughts are on the current season of Westworld in the comments below. I'm really curious to see how this season all comes to a head. If you liked this video, definitely drop a like and subscribe to stick around. Stay tuned as I have several cool videos coming down the pipeline. I just need to stop writing scripts that end up creating 30 to 40 minute long videos. Have a good one. Stay safe. Stay home. And I'll see y'all in the next one.